we're going to talk more about Blake Lively. Romantic drama It Ends With Us reveals around a florist and the film marketing campaign, including the red carpet and the poster, has been entirely floral themed, but the press tour has hardly come up roses. So there's one thing I want to say. Colleen Hoover wanted to do a coloring book with flowers. People were upset because they didn't want a coloring book with DV being the main theme, and so she decided not to do it, and I give her a thumbs up for realizing that was a bad idea. Like, if you want to make a coloring book, maybe someday you could do it. It could be about flowers, but it doesn't need to tie into the book, like, at all. They could just be flowers that you find pretty or like. Don't tie it into the book. Just don't. I give her a thumbs up for realizing it was a bad idea. Blake Lively, romantic drama ends with us reveals around if weird. The movie itself is a box office hit, earning $50 million after its release last. This was like a few weeks ago. Based on a best-selling Colleen Hoover novel, It Ends With Us is ultimately about breaking the cycle of DV that entraps one generation after another, but the film has been at the center of a surprisingly varied number of controversies that have raised a number of questions. Has there been a rift between Baldoni and the cast? Yeah, we already talked about that. Does the rift involve Ryan Reynolds? I don't know if we got to exactly that, so let's see. Baldoni and his production company, Wayfair Studios, sourced the rights to the book in 2019, and in 2023 it was announced that Lively has signed on to star. Critically, both had experienced producer roles. That matter becomes interviewers on the press tour suggest there were creative differences between Baldoni and Lively. One, Entertainment Tonight asked Baldoni if he would direct an adaptation of the sequel, It Starts With Us. He says, I think Blake Lively ready to direct, that's what I think. The suspicion of differences was further fueled by Lively's relations that Reynolds had a hand in the script. On the red carpet with E! News, she said that Reynolds, geez, my mouth won't speak, whose Deadpool and Wolverine is also in theaters, was in theaters, I'm not sure if it still is, we'll discuss it, was very involved in It Ends With Us, despite not having any formal role, that he was responsible for adapting a scene, the iconic rooftop scene in this movie. My husband wrote it, nobody knows that, she said. Which might be a problem, and maybe illegal, some people say. The screenwriter, Christy Hall, told People that she was unaware of any rewrite. And instead thought the actors were improvising. Additionally, according to Hollywood Reporter, Lively commissioned a cut of the film from Shane, the same editor who worked on Deadpool and Wolverine. The biggest unanswered question gripping Hollywood is whether Baldoni or Lively's cut is what ultimately got released. Is the marketing campaign downplaying the issue with DV? We all think so. Okay, we'll talk about Lively's promotion of the movie has included a push for her new hair care line, which people do not like, discussion of the clothes in the movie, and responses to question about abuse, which has been criticized as shallow and tone deaf. On the official It Ends With Us movie TikTok page, Lively says, grab your friends, wear your floors, and head out to see it. To some social media users, that seems off for a film about DV and has inspired TikToks of people mocking her light approach. TikTok user at Harmony Funny has posted a series titled If Other Movies Were Promoted Like It Ends With Us. In one video she says, "Calling all my boy moms. Grab your snakes and bring your sons to the family movie of the year. We cry for a dream, only in theaters, not in your mind." Baldoni, by contrast, has emphasized the importance of raising awareness of DV and providing resources for those in similar situations. Now that part I do like. Thank you for giving people some awareness. If a Lively Bloom in real life can sit in this theater and make a different choice for herself than the one that was made for her, maybe she sees herself on the screen and chooses something different for herself, Baldoni said in a red carpet interview. I'm not saying either one of them are saints. Not at all. I'm just grateful that one of them thought about how it would feel to be in that situation. A complete guide to Ends With Us drama, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, feud rumors. We might get some repeats, we'll see. Justin Baldoni will never forget the first time he read Colleen Hoover's novel It Ends With Us. By the end of the book, he relayed to CBS Morning, "I couldn't read the text on the page because I was crying so much." Released in 2016, It Ends With Us tells the story of Lily Bloom. Growing up, she witnessed her father DA. As an adult, Lily moves from her home state of Maine to Boston to pursue her dream of opening a flower shop. There she meets a Norwegian, Riley, and they fell in love. However, he begins DV her. Ultimately, Lily, whose childhood love, Atlas, also re-enters life, must make a choice about her future. Baldoni wrote a letter to Hoover, who spoken about how she drew from how her father DV'd her mother, expressing how much he loved the book and seeing if he could turn into a movie. "I just thought if this could affect me in this way, then I could only imagine what I could do for women and people who are in this situation all over the world," he continued. "Because all of us have a situation or a pattern that we need to end the pattern of." Baldoni optioned the book in 2019 with the sole intent to direct, but as he and Hoover formed what he described to Hollywood Reporter as a pen pal like correspondence via email, she asked him if he'd consider pulling double duty by also playing Riley. I want to say Riley. I think I had that part of me that wanted to play Riley, but I also just didn't have the confidence or didn't know if anyone would believe I could. He continued, "But when Colleen sent me that email, it kind of gave me permission to believe that I could cause her belief in me, kind of inspired my belief in myself. So we ended up developing it together. We brought on Christina Hall to write, and then 2 years from that email, it was then decided I would play Riley. Following that, they just needed to pick up Lily, and they found her in Blake Lively, who also served as an executive producer on the film. I had a 3-hour meeting with Blake the first time we ever met," Baldoni recalled a Good Morning America, and shortly after that meeting, I texted her and I just said, "You are Lily Bloom." As news and photos about the movie started to emerge, fans had their opinions about everything from Lily's costume to Baldoni and Lively being older than their characters in the book. But with a best-selling novel that took over Book Talk and a star-studded cast, which also included Jenny Slate, Brendan, and Hansen, it also seemed like It Ends With Us had all the seeds needed to grow into a major box office success, and it did earn 100 million globally in its first week alone. But these numbers have continued to bloom, so have rumors of ongoing feuds between Lively and Baldoni. Over the past few weeks, internet users have discussed recent and old interviews, debated over how the topic of DV was handled in the film and on the press tour, and shared their theories and about cause. So, let me know in the comments below. Should I read the book and watch the movie? If I do you think my PTSD will go bad? Because I don't want to do something that will totally get me freaked out. What if it ends with us stars said about working on the film? How did it end with us viewed rumors stars? Was Ryan Reynolds involved in making It Ends With Us? Was there several cuts of It Ends With Us? What has been said about how the topic of DV was handled in It Ends With Us? What does Hoover think of the film adaptation of her book? Ultimately, Hoover expressed that she likes how the film turned out. It's very several, she told Hollywood Reporting August 14th. I think it's all of the emotions I am able to separate in it. The sense that I see the book and the film as two complete separate things, but at the same time I think they did such a good job considering this book into a film that I'm very happy with the adaptation, and I am so excited for the readers to be able to see it. Oh, so some Reddit. What's going on with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni? I see things on Twitter saying that the press tour is essentially "Don't worry, darling." The sequel with Blake Lively's behavior. Now Baldoni has apparently hired some PR crisis people. What's going on that has people taking sides? Both internet and the film's cast and crew. Raise your hand if you just learned that. Okay, no. Friends, leave a reminder that all top level comments must. Okay. Answer: no one really knows what happened between them. But the highlight is that it appears that Blake Lively, largely her Hollywood connections, take over the movie production and messaging, icing Baldoni out in the process. To give some background, It Ends With Us was a very popular romantic novel published in 2016 by Colleen Hoover. In 2019, Justin Baldoni acquired the movie rights. In previous interviews, Baldoni talks about how much he respects the book and Hoover, and how Hoover was so excited for him to have film rights and their shared vision for the film. They both began filming. Justin is starring in it, directing, and it was a producer. So far, there have been no allegations that the film was toxic, or that people weren't getting along, or if there was creative conflict. They weren't beyond what would you find in any set. But as a promo for the film beginning, people start noticing something odd. Baldoni was not doing any joint promotion with the other stars of the film. They were at separate screenings, doing separate panels. If they were at the same one, he would arrive after the rest of the cast had walked the carpet. There were no photographs of the cast all together promoting the film. None of the cast or Hoover were following Baldoni on social media, but were all following each other. Initially, the thought was Baldoni must have been terrible to work with, right? After all, it seems Baldoni versus everyone else. Then reposted started to emerge that the conflict comes because Lively basically took over control of the movie once it got on the editing phase. Multiple sources are now saying that there were competing cuts of the film. Apparently, Lively took over Baldoni's edit, despite his cut having scored higher with audiences. How did Lively get away with this? She has a powerful husband, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool himself, basically took over the movie and buddied up with author Colleen Hoover to see that their cut won. Even though Baldoni was the star, the director, and owner of the film rights, Lively, by virtue of her connection to Ryan Reynolds, was reportedly able to muscle her way into creative control. So much so that Baldoni isn't even listed as a producer in the film credits. Recently, Baldoni was quoted as saying that if they were to make a sequel to the film, he would want to direct. He said, I think there's a better people for that one. I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think. Kind of, or shaky, hard to tell. While Lively isn't that accomplished of an actress herself, she does have a really powerful connection. Her husband, her BFF, is Taylor Swift. Yeah, I do like Taylor Swift, but I mean, yeah. She's also reportedly extremely charismatic in person, so it isn't too surprising that she won the cast over to her side. While there hasn't been any ton of bad press about Lively, there are some grumblings on the internet about her behavior due to how she promotes the film. Since she was in control of the final cut, she has had swaying over the marketing. This is a film about DV that is being marketed as a romance. There are various problems with that. Lively has just launched a hair care line during the promo for this movie's about DV. She has spent an absent amount of time talking about how luxurious her hair is. Sounds like it's time to start a Release the Baldoni Cut campaign. So the situation seems to be that everything has pretty much standed until the film cut happened, where Lively interviewed once editing started. The cast crew and Hoover took her side while unfollowing and shunning on Baldoni, who has the rights to the film because of her high-level connections. I'd also like to add that there has been some negative whispers about Blake since all of this came out. Answer, Lively, and the cast have put space between themselves and Baldoni's cast suspicion on him by the general population. As the PR has continued, people notice that Baldoni will name Lively's contribution to the work while she talks around the question about him. You forgot the detail of people thinking she and her husband are trying to Barbara Wonderful their film and Ryan rewriting some of the scenes. That whole movie is a money grab as the book is insanely popular, but it is panned by any critic worth their salt, and it's said to have problematic themes. Honestly, any promo I've seen makes it look like a romantic film. I had no idea what the book was about. Neither did I. Straight up, thank you. That's exactly what I thought when I first heard this movie came out, and I would have been so mad finding out it was about DV. Question, what happened with Don't Worry, Darling? Answer, an absolute words. But to sum up, serious and obvious friction between director Olivia Wilde and star Florence Pugh, to the point where Pugh was notably absent at several events. Also, at one point, Wilde claimed to have fired Shia LaBeouf early in the production because of his combative acting style. Answer, Blake Lively has eyes on her for shady things she's done both in this movie and past, which this video of Blake Lively doing... Alexa, stop. A rude interview? Yes, it was years ago, but the interviewer reposted it recently, since she was never validated in the past. I support her posting. She was hopping on the bandwagon of the rightful press. Scarlett Johansson got for pointing out the insane interview questions she was constantly getting around the same period. Celebrities don't get to have their cake and eat it too, about grabbing publicity for their pregnancy and then getting PO'd about when people use it as an icebreaker. I'm not defending her, but unfortunately there are two dots that need to be connected on that one. This storm has educated me about the fact that Blake was self-consideration enough about her body that it was reported in 2009 that associates had to cut the tag out of a dress because she refused to wear anything bigger than a size 0. Now pair that up with one of the first comments from that interview where easily being interrupted, "You look pregnant," and it's pretty easy to understand that she got triggered and it looked out. I'm trying to see what happened to this one. It's not working. Okay, so that is it for the drama that I can find. If there's more, let me know, but this is everything that I think I found. And these are 2 really long videos. I hope you all enjoy and have a great and wonderful day. Bye for now.